Liberal ideologies have just ruined hunting in the United States. And unfortunately, most of us have taken the bait of what they've told us, hook, line, and sinker. So in today's video, I want to unmask a few things that I think a lot of hunters believe are true that are actually just lies. And so later we're going to talk about how much money these fish and game agencies are spending today per deer and elk that are killed compared to what they spent in times past. It's going to make you sick. So let's talk about it. Let's go to my son, Cole. So my son, Cole, is 12 years old, just barely had his birthday. Before that, he killed about 20 big game animals. 20 big game animals as he hunted with me in Texas, Alaska, South Africa, all over. The kid's lucky, he's got to go hunting a bunch of times, right? But his own state of Utah and dozens of states around the country banned him from hunting. He couldn't hunt because he's not yet 12 years old. That's a liberal ideology. That's not a conservative value at all. Conservatives believe that parents are in charge and that we should have individual liberty to make our own decisions. So when my kids were 8, I determined that, yeah, it would be safe for me as their parent to be right next to them, to sit in a ground blind, and to take them hunting. But so many states around the country ban parents from doing that. You can't have your own tag until you're 12 years old in so many states. That is bullcrap. What is going on? It's like the government wants these kids to sit at home rotting on their cell phones and won't let them go hunting. What? How have we as conservatives in conservative states supported this from happening? When I was a kid, school would be canceled for a week, opening week of deer season, because sons and daughters and their dads and their moms would go hunting in the woods. It was an amazing thing. Not only does that not exist, but now in so many states, kids can't even hunt at all, or it will be very difficult for them to get any tags. We can't allow that to continue, and I have a plan for how we can change that in just a minute. Here's a lie. This one I think is going to surprise you. So the bill of goods that I keep getting sold is that, hunters today are just too successful with modern scopes and rangefinders and all this stuff. And so we really need hunting laws to kind of curb what tactics and what equipment can be used by hunters, because you guys are just way too successful. There will be no animals left if you keep doing that. And so I decided, well, let's find out if it's true. And the way that we could find out if that's true is let's look at the hunter success rate over time. And so I was born in the year 1985. And just in the state of Utah, just as an example, I found an article, a really old news article that gave me enough of these numbers from the year 1989, so we'll take that. The hunter success rate for deer in that year was 33%. 33%. As soon as I saw it, I saw, wait a minute. It's not really any different than what it is today. It's about the same. And to make it worse, back in those days, there were 2 to 3 times the number of hunters in the woods. Would you be a lot more successful as a hunter if there were half or a third the number of hunters at that trailhead that you pull into? I definitely think so. And so even with way more hunters, they had the same success rate as we do today with all that modern technology that's supposed to be making us unfairly advantaged and killing too many animals. Hold on, it's just not true. That's just a myth. And yet, you go to the state regulations and you say, oh, new regulation this year, no trail cameras, banned, even on private property. You guys are too good at hunters. You can't even put a battery in a scope for an illuminated reticle. You guys are too good at hunters. We got to control that, right? You can only use straight wall cartridges. You have to use now this barrel length of muzzleloader and this caliber and all these different things. I mean, you guys know. You see the regulations get longer and longer every year with so much minutia being controlled. But the foundational belief is just not true. We're actually not achieving a higher success rate than before. I mean, on its face, you know that's not true. Do you really think that the guy today sitting on his phone, fat, dumb, and happy, scrolling all day, is a better outdoorsman than our grandparents were? I don't think so. One thing that has changed, of course, is access to public lands. So the government is selling more of our public lands, saying, now there are fewer animals, so we need more of your money to do it so that we can sell off more of your lands and tax you more. That doesn't sound like a very good idea to me. Let's take another one that has kind of become a personal mission of mine. So how would you feel if you heard on Fox News or CNN, whatever you watch, you heard, the government has decided that we really need to control what color of clothes pedestrians wear. People are getting hit all the time, and so we just need everybody to wear yellow. You gotta wear yellow if you're gonna walk on sidewalks or across the street. You'd be pissed, right? You'd say, no, that's my choice. If I want to wear black and walk down a street, that's a dumb thing to do, but I have the right to do it. And yet, when it comes to hunting, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, we have to have 144 square inches of blaze orange facing on each side of my ground blind, and I have to have 500 square inches of blaze orange on the top half of my body. Yeah, I'm gonna measure that, sure. Yeah, we just accept that stuff. Now, I think blaze orange is smart. We should have blaze orange. I wear blaze orange when I go hunting. You should too. People are idiots, and it is a safer thing to do. But what I do disagree with fundamentally is the government controlling us and telling us what color our clothes need to be. Some of you caught my joke. In fact, quite a lot of you did. So at SHOT Show, if you watched my videos closely, you saw that I wore a really cool shirt. It's a green shirt that says blaze orange on it, right? So Fish and Game pulls you over and they're like, you're not wearing 500 square inches of blaze orange. You can say, oh yeah, look, my whole shirt is blaze orange. It says it right here. And they'll say, but that's not 500 square inches. And you say, no, look closely, 500 square inches of blaze orange. So I made one for me, and judging from you guys' interest in it, I decided to make some in the community. This is the very first product I've had available to sell. It's on backfire.tv right now. So just go to the Backfire website. You'll see it right there. It's a really high quality shirt. It looks cool, just says blaze orange. You're going to be buying a bunch of shirts anyway throughout your life, and so you might as well get one that supports something cool and looks awesome. It's just kind of a fun joke, I think. I also got some Backfire hats. I think they look sick. They're super comfortable. And I decided I'm going to do something to make a difference. So $1 for every single order for that shirt. It's brand new. I only have 400 of them available, so I think they'll go pretty quick. So check the Backfire website to get them. For every order that's made, I'm going to give $1 to my kids, and they're going to write a letter for every order to a fish and game director or on the board of different states all across the country to increase kids' opportunity to hunt. If you agree that kids younger than 12 should be able to hunt with their parent supervision, let's change that. Let's get that done. So $1 for every order is going to that. Please support Backfire. Everything that I've done has been free in the history of this channel. And so I'd really appreciate you guys' support with this one for the really cool hats and shirts that just launched. Go check them out on backfire.tv. But the real problem is when we follow the money. Every time you follow the money, you find out where the actual corruption is. So what I wanted to know is, well, if hunter success rates haven't changed, but the number of hunters has gone way down since, the 1985 when I was born, then what about the money? Because it feels to me like tags are getting crazy expensive. I don't play Powerball, lottery, right? I don't buy lottery tickets. It just goes against my ethos with money, and I want to earn the things that I get. I don't want to be given freebies by the government. And so I don't play the Powerball, but the government forces hunters to do that. Now you say, okay, it makes sense. There are more people that want to tag than we can give out, and so we got to pick some people. I get that, right? The problem is that so many states are just using it like a traditional Powerball. They're making you pay, and only a portion of that gets refunded. They're making you buy the license, even if you don't get the tag. So it really is just a financial lottery, which I just fundamentally disagree with. That's a liberal ideology. So let's see if it's true that we're getting robbed blind here. So in 1989, looking at that year because I was actually able to find some data in Utah at least, just as an example, the total budget of the Department of Wildlife Resources was $17 million. Adjusted for inflation in today's dollars, that'd be $41 million. 33% success rate. So the total budget of the DWR divided by how many deer were killed that would be $683 per deer. Now, obviously, they do a lot more things than just put deer on the landscape. They do fish and other stuff too. But just as an example so that we can see, where our money is it bringing good hunting and conservation to the landscape. Okay, compare that to today. The budget is $122 million, triple that of even the inflation-adjusted amount from 1989. But that was to control less than half the number of hunters. Uh-oh, we've already run into a problem. Just the tags and licenses brought in $47 million, which was more than even the inflation-adjusted amount from 1989 for the entire budget of the whole DWR. And then you see the hunter success rate is about the same. We're spending about $4,066 per deer killed for the total budget of the DWR, which again is unfair because they're doing lots of other things. But just to see how things have changed over time, you see we're going the wrong direction. And then you say, yeah, but it's going to conservation. This is helping. But then you look how the money is actually spent. I promise, Google your state agency and your Department of Wildlife or your Fish and Game, whatever it's called, and look at their budget. You're going to be sick to your stomach when you see how the money is actually spent. It's mostly going to salaries, it's mostly going to buildings, it's going to bureaucracy, $3 million to marketing, $4 million to data processing. It's just going to bureaucracy. But there's another more insidious liberal ideology that is especially infecting those purple states and of course the liberal states. And that is this save the furry creatures kind of feeling that's getting voters to do things that are against science. So listen to this clip from Joe Rogan and Steven Rinella.
Right, because when California got rid of mountain lion hunting, they're still killing several hundred mountain lions here a year. The total lion kill didn't change much. People are comfortable with a state agent or someone being paid to go out and kill lions. They're not comfortable with someone paying who wants to go do it.
I don't think they realize that state agencies are killing as many mountain lions in California as they are.
So they cut out mountain lion hunting, and then they're like, shoot, we have too many mountain lions. We'll just get a game warden, put them up in a helicopter and take out the mountain lions. It's insanity. So much insanity going on because the people, the voters, are uneducated. That's why our government is a representative democracy instead of a direct democracy. It's why we don't have a ballot measure, that we just don't vote on every single thing as citizens, but we instead elect representatives who then vote. Well, one purpose is they can become more educated and they can make good decisions. And so I don't love it when I see ballot measures that are really a science-based decision that needs to be made by biologists. Another huge problem with hunting laws that I know you guys are really frustrated by is how different every state's regulations are. Sure, on the number of tags, but on the equipment that you can use, on do you have to get out the rib meat, do you attach the tag to the largest piece of meat or to the antler, and can I take the antler out first, or does that have to be the last load? How do I have to wear 500 square inches of blaze orange or 400 square inches? It just gets absolutely ridiculous. It's so hard to go state to state to go hunting, and so I would love to see especially neighboring states to come together on a few basic things that would make it way easier for hunters to know what the laws are. Most of the time when I see people getting cited for fish and game violations, it's out of ignorance. It's because it is so complicated that it's very easy to make a mistake. So let's make a difference. Let's start fixing some of these stupid hunting laws. One way to do it is to grab a blaze orange shirt from Backfire. $1 from every order is going to a letter to fish and game officials all over the country, trying to get some things fixed that really are common sense and reflect our conservative values. Thanks everybody for joining me in this video. We'll see you in the next one.